Welcome everyone. This is the Viper Professional Trading Room, Professional Webinar at Viper Trading Systems. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar. Other webinars we might have, our live trading room, or anything else with Viper Trading Systems should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. And this is the Wednesday night webinar, November 29th, 2016. And the title of tonight's webinar is Wait for the Trade to Come to You. All right. Now, I did send out new scripts. Did anybody not get those? I found out just a little bit earlier today that the mid-band script expires tomorrow. So all you have to do is remove VIP Pro Ultimate X16, put in the new one that I sent, and just restart Ninja. That's all there is to it. Yeah, I saw that. TF is changing to $5 on 12.5. They were going to wait for a while, but it looks like they're going to. Does anybody know if they're going to still charge the data feed? It sounds like they are because they're still with ICE. Okay, but if anybody doesn't have the scripts or have them installed, you know, gosh, I'll be available right after the room closes tomorrow again too. Didn't get the email, Mary? Did not receive the scripts. Chris, not after the webinar, but I could do it like first thing in the morning. You know, I get up right about 7 o'clock. And I could do that. It is real easy to put them on, though, if anybody wants to give it a try. Okay. Mary, you might check your email just to make sure, and I'll be more than happy to resend those. But just keep in mind that tomorrow morning, unfortunately, because I did not get the memo until literally last night, the mid-band script here, I had written down in my notes, because that was what I was told 6 months ago, that it expires on 12/30, but unfortunately it expires on 11/30, so that's tomorrow. And what will happen is this little script right here will say file is expired, and it'll be just like you don't have that script, and this is what your charts will look like. Okay, so be sure and get that installed. The new file is VIP Pro Ultimate M17, and you just have to remove the old VIP Pro Ultimate first. Okay, it takes 20 seconds to change them out. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the webinar the way I had planned to. And I want to ask everybody a question here. How many of you chase trades? Just a curious question to see how many end up chasing trades. And good, I'm seeing not anymore. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, I see one that does. That's not a problem either. A lot less now. Good, good. Lots and lots of people are saying, nope, I don't chase them anymore. And some are saying, sorry to say I still do, but that's actually okay too, because what I want to show you tonight is how to try to avoid doing that, even in the choppy stuff, you know, because the whole idea of making money, you don't have to make, you know, a fortune, but you don't want to just all of a sudden go into the day with like a $400 loss and then you have to make it up. Let's see. I watched the trade run away from me and sit there staring at the screen. We've all done that, Doug, to answer your question. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up your name, but that is funny, but it's true. It is easy to do that because you get so used to seeing the colors. You know, you're looking at a downtrend and then all of a sudden they just change directions. That's the toughest ones, I think, to get, are the ones that just change directions. But let me ask you a question on this chart, and this is a real live chart right here, and I want everybody to keep in mind, waiting for the trade to come to you is a lot better than chasing, because chasing is dangerous to your bottom line. Okay, because if you use the stair-step method, of trading, you've got to put your stop under those swings. You know, whether it's the power meter 1, 2, or even 3 if you're using longer swings. Okay? So I'm going to get rid of that. We don't need it anymore. But I'm going to ask a question here. I don't know why that disappeared, but I'll put it back on. Okay, judging by this chart right here, wouldn't you say that we're actually in a little bit of an uptrend? But of course you don't really see the rest of the chart because you don't get these numbers forming for a while until you get some action. Let me draw lightning 2 right here. Now do you think it's an uptrend? And it's really not, is it? Because you've got a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low. Okay, so they're actually, you know, very possibly spinning onto the downside. But I want to show you something that I see a lot of people that I talk to that they end up doing, and you want to really get out of this habit. Let me fix my scripts back. I'll put my template back on. That's the easiest way rather than just putting the indicator back on. All right, and then I'm going to put Object Trader back on. We're in replay mode. Okay, now what I hear a lot of people doing, you know, they'll see something like this happening and they'll just jump in. I mean, they'll just jump in and, you know, like right now they go, oh my gosh, this is running away from me. I'll only take a chance with 2 contracts, but let's just sell it. And what does it do to you every time that you do that? Most every time anyway. It'll end up probably being the bottom of the silly thing. Okay? And then it reverses. But if you look at your chart to see where this thing should go, you got to look, see, like you have a thrust down, a retrace, and a thrust down. Okay, so I draw a line on my chart. I see that as a potential area that we should hit our head on a pullback. Okay, now you want to see, I don't know, I mean, I didn't trade NQ. I went ahead and pulled NQ up today just because, well, I don't trade it. And we called trades on oil, and I don't think we need to go over those. Everybody got some good trades on oil today. But does everybody see that? That this is pretty much where you'd be looking for that to come back to because it broke down below it. It should come back and kiss it. And more than likely, mid-band's going to come down a little bit more to follow it. Okay? Because here's what happens. I'm going to start this up, and I don't know for sure, but I'm going to chase this trade just for the pure fun of it. We're just going to go ahead and sell 2 of them, okay? And we're going to hold it for a full stop out. Let's just see if it gives us targets or not. Isn't that what normally happens to you right there? And then you'll watch and you'll probably get right back in the green again. You'll think, well, it's finally going to go my direction. I'm up $10. Oh, now I'm down 20. Now I'm up 10. Oh, we're doing pretty good. Uh-oh. See what I mean? We just chased a trade, and that evidently must have been like a 7:30 deal or something, because where would you get out of this trade now if you were chasing it? When it stair-stepped up, maybe above here, and this turns green? You want to try that? If it does, otherwise it'll give us our targets. And we'll be in the red if it does that. This is why right here I don't like chasing trades. And sometimes you will be like a little bit of a deer in the headlights unless you know to get in the trade anyway at a certain point. See there? Now let's just go ahead and close that out. But see, we just lost $70. Okay, so now we're in the red. And where's our trade at on this chart? Well, to me, it's within even a tick or so of that line right there. See there? It just barely missed it. And I tagged it because that's my resistance right there. Okay? Now, notice that I've got to make up now $130. We're doing really great so far, aren't we? But wasn't that a better trade than the one we chased? You see what I mean? You know, what if I'd done 4 contracts? Instead, we would have been down, oh, now we're up a whole, you know, $65. Isn't that great? Okay, we're going to put our stop just above the swing. Target, we'll get one target out of the way. Target should be down here at the bottom, maybe faded a tick or so, like that. See where the target is? Right there, and I'm going to put this on exit on close. Okay, now we're up $95, but couldn't we have been up closer to $170 instead of being out of the trade to begin with? Is this going to get us? It might. We'll only be up $45 if it gets us. Now your real lightning swing is, well, we held it, but it is all the way up here. But if you put it up here, why won't my stop move? What's going on? There it is. Let's go ahead and move it just for the fun of it to there, okay, until we get a target or till we get a true lightning. There we go, we got it. So here's your stop now, right on top of that swing. Okay, now we're back in the green again, which is really good. All right, we've got our stop in on exit on close. It looks like we're maybe double bottoming, but we don't know that yet until it takes out resistance, like right across here. And for sure, if it takes out our little lightning swing, which is here, see your thrust, retrace thrust, that's a lightning swing. So I'm going to put my stop right there just in case, okay, on my last contract. See if we get the rest of this or not. We'll find out. Just let her play. Yeah, and that's the thing, Brian, on your question, that's absolutely what happens too, is you'll chase a trade, and it's honestly like they can read your mind, because all of a sudden you're going to be thinking, you know, I've done that myself too. I know Charles does too. We've all got to fight it, because you have that tendency to think, oh, this thing's going to go up another, you know, down another 100 ticks or whatever. And you'll get in at the very bottom or the very top. But if you wait for retracements, they do pretty nicely. Now, if we get stopped out of this, where are we going to look for another trade on this? Well, we got a double bottom, so I'd be looking probably right across here. And we need to put our stop, though. I accidentally moved my stop too. Let's just move the line. Stop's going to be right above that swing. That's our lightning swing, exit on close. Okay, we don't know what it's going to do, so we'll just deal with it, see what we can get. And then we'll watch the power meter, and if it goes green, we'll also get out of the trade. It just went green, so I'm going to get out of the trade. See it? Power meter, matter of fact, 3 of them went green for some reason. Oh, I see. Well, that shouldn't be green on power meter 3, I don't think. Well, it went green, so I guess we'll go with it to begin with. The software knows more than I do. All right, so we're out of the trade. Now, where's the next trade on this chart? And we're not chasers, okay? Because I'll show you what I'd be looking for. Okay, we already hit this swing right here, or at least within a tick. So we've got resistance right up here. Let's see if we get a predictor, and we'll take another trade. Pull back into mid-band, absolutely, or a predictor. Now, if you want to take the safest trades you can, watch it like when I drew this on the chart at perfect resistance, or at or above mid-band on a short. Now, you're going to miss some decent trades, but see, this one was perfect into resistance right here. Your next resistance to the left is right here, and then after that is all the way up there. Okay, so somewhere between those two lines we could also get a trade, right? But let's just take a predictor. Since this didn't take out the low, we're going to be doing a lot riskier trade if we don't take out lows. If you don't ratchet down, you know, in the case of a short, you want to be real careful. So I'm just going to scalp it. if we get a predictor. We'll see if we get a predictor. And we got time to wait. We'll just wait for the trade. That's the key to making money trading, is to wait for the trade to come to you. Okay? Now this is going about 6 times. I'll kick it up to about 10. Still no trade, is there? Because what would we be doing right now if we took this trade? We'd be chasing it, wouldn't we? You know, we got $105. You want to chase it? You want to get rid of that $105? It's pretty easy to do. 4 contracts would get rid of it really quickly if I would have chased it just then. See how it came down and checked support again. Now, a lot of people are buying support even, and when it's sideways like this, you can, but you got to be careful. I would recommend staying with this little trend line right here until you get an ABC. Let me show you. Like this right here. See, you've got a downward trend, right? Let's draw the same thing in an upward trend. When does this trend change directions? Right here. You've got a low here. I'll change the color of that. White will be fine. All right. And you've got, let's say that the prices were doing this already. Okay. And when does this actually change directions on here? Is it changing directions? It is, isn't it? So what are you looking for in that case? You're looking for this. You're looking for it to break a little bit above. That could be mid-band, to give an example. And then you're looking for this type of thing to happen. And a lot of times it'll go a little bit below or something like that, and then it'll do this sideways stuff for a while. You know, just kind of get ready to box it in, so to speak. But when this actually changed, at least letting you think there's going to be a trend change anyway, was when you got a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high. Okay, so that's like a leg 1, a leg 2, and this should be your leg 3, and that's going to be usually, you know, a pretty good runner. Okay, and you'll notice that I'm going to show you the trade that Charles and I both called in the room this morning on boxing that one in. I imagine we'll get to it. Everybody see that though? That, you know, if you were to draw it on this side, let's say for instance you were looking at this. I'll get rid of these right here. Now this is fairly basic, but I'm here to tell you there's still so many people that will miss this. Your swing is right across here at this moment, right? But what if this did this? And got a higher low and then starts breaking this. You know, in other words, they break this. Well, this is your medium swing, like we talked about on NQ this morning. Okay, so you're taking a risk when you take this trade. Let's say, for instance, that we find out that this is going to do like a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high. Well, then we've got to watch for something like this to happen, right? It's going to more than likely kiss somewhere near resistance, pull back into support, and then it's going to oscillate around and it's going to break up. But that's giving you the idea that it's going to happen just with that, like that. Okay, so let's go back to our chart. Now, they've had a lot of movement on that. I had it going 10 times. We missed some pretty good trades on here. So let's see, 851. Okay, we've got that situation happening right before our eyes. Let's look at it. Low, high, higher low, higher high. Let's see if this low holds here. Okay, and we'll find out if they're going to bounce and very possibly trend change, especially around 9 o'clock. That's another area that Charles and I really look for too. Your medium swing is right here. Okay, but where will your medium swing be? You know, for instance, you got a low, a high, a higher low, higher high. Right now, higher low than here. That was your first thrust retrace. So would this be like a medium swing before it's all over? Probably going to print a number there, more than likely. And let's see if it does just what we talk about. By the way, everybody can see, even though I went into explaining all that you had a beautiful trade also right in here. You had a trade here that went into predictor. You had a trade here that went into predictor. You had a trade here that went into predictor. Okay? But while I had it going 10 times, we lost a lot of time. So now we're going to trade it from 9 o'clock on. Okay? And let's see what it actually does. We'll find out. Parameter 1 and 2 are green. We're still expecting a short at this moment, but we're starting to say, wait a minute, we've got taking out resistance for sure, right? This is what we were looking at in real time. Everybody remember that this morning? But you don't want to just jump into the breakout trade, do you? You want to wait and see if you're going to start getting higher lows and higher highs. Okay, so far you've got a low, a high. Now, since this double bottomed here, what have you got? You've got a low, a high, a higher low, and a little higher high. So could that be boxed in right there? It could, couldn't it? Okay, let's see if we can get something on here. Now I want to show you a safer way on this though that you can absolutely look for, and you'll more than likely do quite well at it. And I'll show you something here. Let it thrust up like it's doing. Draw your line at the swing. See the thrust, retrace, thrust? Isn't this looking for a trade right in here at that line? Like that? And we forgot to put extra contracts on, so we got a target. We'll do it again. Missed that one a little bit, but we've got a little box forming just like we talked about. Everybody see that? This is exactly the trade that was taken on Russell too this morning. Remember, it came up, it broke up above, it came back and kissed. And that's what you're looking for. You've got to get a 1, 2, 3, and then they got to figure out if they're going to really break the 3 that they made, and then they'll usually come back and they'll check mid-band or right around the swing. Okay? Now there's another way you could take this too, and this is the way Charles called this in the room this morning. He called this little trade right here to go long and mentioned boxing it in. Remember? And then you just wait for the trade to come to fruition. Now, I don't personally like that trade as much simply because you've got resistance right up here. I don't like that trade because to me, when it closes out of that box, that's not enough, and I've got to put my stop all the way under here. And if I do, say, 4 contracts, then I've got to have a pretty hefty stop on that, right? So, okay, that's firing, okay? That's a little risky trade to me because what if it hits its head here, okay? But you know what a better trade is? Even? I'll show you. We'll just kill this. We'll wait for it to break here and come back and kiss. Let's see if it will. We'll get rid of region. We'll wait for a break because that's our 1, 2, 3, right? You know, this is actually a 1, 2, 3 here too. So it was kind of breaking up even here, but now that it's done this swing like this is what I like, and especially when you get the green background. Okay, now watch it pull back. Because they usually do. Right on top of 58, bar close to the upside. And there you go, you got you a trade. And that is a really, really good way to watch for that trade. Look to the left, check your targets. Got a swing way over here, so I'd probably put 1 target there. Of course, you could put one at the 12 range swings and all the way up here too. Like that. Let's see, just 1 second. The next couple of NQ trades are what I missed today, and it just ran away from me. It hardly pulled back to the 6. Well, one thing about that, Doug, on your question there, you'll notice that most of the time when they break up, they'll pull back and they'll kiss the support area. And these numbers are really good. Notice how it popped above here and it pulled exactly right back into it. And you'll see that time and time again that'll happen. But what if you miss that one? Now, granted, you'd be chasing a trade, wouldn't you? So let's wait for an actual retracement, which we actually called in the room this morning. You want to see it? I'll show you. How about a predictor? You want to just say, okay, we're deer in the headlight and we missed the whole trade. I'll just kill the trade. All right. Let's just say we missed this entire thing, and tonight's webinar is about not chasing a trade. Okay. So we're figuring right now, mid band is kind of moving up on us a little bit. They've already checked here, right? So let's just kind of move our line with mid band and see if we can get a trade. Or a predictor, whenever predictor shows up. Now that's a swing right there, isn't it? See that swing? Thrust, retrace. 57.95. What do you think? Think that'll get us a trade? We'll find out. It may go higher. Our ellipse, remember, it showed up, but you know, just like a deer in the headlight, we're missing a trade. We've already got $320. And by the way, you could easily also get in when they just thrust up a little bit and pull back and give you a candle up too. Okay, especially when they're starting to stair step. But since we're teaching tonight how to absolutely not chase a trade, we're going to wait for either mid-band or a predictor, or line 6 even, if it doesn't take out a swing. Come on, predictor, you got to show up. We can trade you if you'll show yourself. Now, one thing real quick, I'm going to stop this for just a second. Everybody knows that when this changes to green or blue or yellow, that the predictors are no longer going to be magenta and white. Notice that it hadn't printed one yet. That's because the algorithms are still figuring out where this is all going here. Okay? So since we're not chasers, we want to be careful just hitting buy, don't we? Especially when it's way up here like this. And I can tell you this, they will most always at least give enough consolidation pullback to give you a decent trade. Okay? Let's see if we can get one. We're going to watch for predictor. Now, I'd probably buy it if it came right down on top of here even. Let's see if we get a predictor. There's a little swing there. Not quite a predictor yet, is it? There's our predictor right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and buy that because it came so close and it came right on top of this swing. Everybody see that? Right on top of my line. So I'm going to go ahead and buy that even though it didn't come down to predictor. And we called, whoa, just killed that trade by moving the stop instead. So now we're up decently, right? Okay. What are we looking for though if you missed this trade? Anybody? Well, let's draw on our chart and see. We've got a swing right across here. We've got a little micro swing right across here. Okay, so let's say that since we're flat, you want to see if we can get it again? We'll watch for a little pullback. Any kind of pullback into support. But since we're not chasing it, we're either going to have to chase it and buy the breakout, or we're going to have to wait for a pullback. Didn't come back enough yet for me. And that's okay. If you miss that, you just miss it. And it may run, I don't know, it could run big time. If you chase it, like let's say if you buy it right here, you got to put your stop underneath that swing right there, and you're probably going to get nailed. That one didn't. We got lucky. But see what I mean by chasing it? I got filled all the way up here. And now I'll probably get stopped out. See what I mean? That's what chasing every single time will more than likely do to you. Now this may work out because this market moved like crazy today. But you see what I'm getting at? if you wait for the retrace, look how that came within a tick of my line at 64.75. Decent enough, isn't it? Now watch it. See if it stops me out. Looks like it's going to, maybe. That's what I love about exit on close. Hadn't stopped me yet. Now you notice that they don't always get down to predictor. As a matter of fact, when they're running like this, notice that this line 6 on an upward move is pretty good area to get in the trade too. Like it goes down below it and pops back up through it. Like see, here's line 6 right here. See, and it stayed. Matter of fact, it didn't even send a body below it. And we got a decent trade again. Okay. Everybody see that? And look, that's actually a session high for the day now. So we got to watch it. You should get some kind of a pullback. Anybody have any questions on this so far? Because it is really important to watch for these pullbacks into the area that they should be. You want to try another trade? We'll just kill this trade. See if we can get another one. Got a predictor right here. Give it one more bar. If that bar closed down. That's good enough. We're going to try to get right on top of here, like on top of midband. But you won't always get to midband. See that predictor saying where we should bounce? And it looks like we are bouncing a little bit. Okay? So is that chasing a trade then when I get in, when it comes down to like my support areas? No. No, because you are getting a pullback. Chasing a trade is more like earlier when this thing was dropping like this right here, where you're just literally just chasing it right down here, and you actually sell it when it's all the way at the bottom. But if you wait for it to come back to your line, see there, and then you get a nice trade. Okay, let's go over here and see if we can stay with this trade. Now, does everybody watch their charts and see where you could change trend directions also? Because one thing about it, you're going to always look for a phantom trade in any given uptrend or downtrend. Okay? Wow, that's a pretty good trade. Let me get rid of my target here just a second. Now notice that my stop went to break even because it triggers at break even. I might want to actually do my stop just under the swing, simply because I've got just 2 left. Okay? See if we can get some more upward momentum on this thing. We may not. Let's see. Diane's saying, I've noticed if the break-even triggers, then my exit on close stops working. It shouldn't. I'll have that looked at, because I usually don't actually, on my trading that I've got my templates and everything, I don't use break-even trigger. So maybe I better check that out for you. Okay, what does everybody think of this so far? It works, doesn't it? Okay. You use it and have no problem with it? Okay. All right, let's look and see if we can figure out, let's just pretend we're not even in it at all. Let's see if everybody in here can figure out the next trade. I'm going to go ahead and draw on the chart. Got a high, a low, a higher high, so it can't go below there. You got a little swing area right across here that it's already checked, so it's probably going to go a little lower, like right across there. I'll be looking for a trade right around between those 2 lines. Then we'll see if we can get it. We'll see if we can get it. Everybody see how I've drawn on the chart already? I know where my trade's going to be, or at least where it should be. And if I chase it, like without a retracement, I could give up so much of that, it's unreal. With a 12-tick stop, that's $240 of my $1,000 that I'd give up. But what if I go, well, you know what? If I don't chase it, it's going to go up 50 ticks or 100 ticks. Well, you got to wait for at least some kind of retracement, like into some kind of support area. All right, looking at this chart, it's already been here, right? It's already been there. That's what we call our minor. This is a little area right here, and we just got a predictor. Everybody see that? So we're going to look for a trade. Look how that beautifully bounced off there. You could have probably gotten a scalp. I don't like that trade as much simply because it's what I call a shallow retracement. And if you take that trade there, you got to take your money before you get up to here. Watch and see if it doesn't do that. I see this all the time on these charts, so watch and see if it holds there or if it blows through it. If it blows through it, then we'll have to jump in when it pops up and pulls back. Can you ever watch stealth for a trade? Absolutely. Stealth is a good, Weldon, on your question. To give an example, like down in through here, whenever they're running like this, see where stealth is right here? You know, once you start breaking up, see how it pulls into stealth like that? Pulls into stealth right in here, pulls into stealth here, pulls into stealth here, pulls into stealth here, but we're pretty much double topping here too. So by the time you've done it 5 or 6 times, I'm not so sure I'd take it again. But let's see if we can get a trade here. I've got my lines. I'm going to draw my lines again. We can't go below here. All right. We should hit our heads on this swing because we've already checked this one. And let's see if we can get another trade. There was another one right there off that predictor, wasn't it? We missed it because I had it going like 15, 20 times. So we'll try to get another one. We haven't checked this swing yet. And your safest trade is actually mid-band or below on a long, mid-band or above on a short. We're still power metering down so far. We know we can't take out this swing if we're going to head up. High, low, higher, high. Higher, low, barely higher, high. Not really count that swing. I count that one. Now you've double topped, so you've got a thrust retrace, a 1, 2. We need a ABC. And by the way, you could have taken this trade right here too because it did hit support. I just happened to miss it. But since we're not trade chasers, what are we looking for? We're looking for a pullback into here, or we're looking for a breakout above here and a retracement into it. Everybody see that? Because we don't know if this is going to hit its head here yet. It seems to be kind of going a little bit sideways with a high, a low, and now a lower high, but you're still not really breaking down yet. You're just going sideways. But if you go chasing this up here, like now, I guarantee you they're going to leave you in the dirt. And that's what so many people do. And if you want to do a trade, do it all the way down at support, to give an example on a long. Look at that. See, it didn't even take out the line. That's what so many people end up doing. They jump into these trades rather than waiting. Right now, we're in a consolidation of here to here. Okay? So what they're going to try to do, they're going to try to take everybody out. There's your predictor right there. What does everybody think? Looks like a pretty good trade. I'm going to take it. Okay? Oh, we'll see. Now, if you wait for the lightning to change, I'll go ahead and add. If lightning goes green, it may be too fast. I just added because lightning went green. Stop's going to be underneath here. I'm going to get targets out of the way, target out of the way, target up the top. Actually, you could even go with predictor right there because that's where it's saying it'll go. Okay? Everybody see that? Draw your lines on your charts. Now let's diagnose this, because I diagnosed this in the room this morning in real time. Okay, let's take all these lines off and start over. Hopefully I don't kill Object Trader. All right, everybody sees you got a high, you got a low, little higher high, higher low, higher high. So at that time, this was your swing over here. Everybody see that? All right, now this barely takes out this high here, so this swing doesn't count. Everybody see that? You know, it didn't even close above it. It actually closed below it, closed at it, closed below it, closed barely above it. Everybody see what I'm talking about? So when you see that, go down to your secondary swing, which is right down here. And if you need to draw it, just draw it with lightning. Okay, so you have a thrust, a retrace, thrust, retrace, never took out the top. So that is your identified swing right there. And notice, and I said this in the room this morning too, that was your low, that was a higher low. That's why I fully expected that to continue up. Everybody see that? Now I don't know how much this thing moved after we closed the room, but this looks like a pretty good trade. We'll get our targets. Yeah, we'll go ahead and let one target get nailed on the next predictor. See if we get a predictor. We could also put our stop just underneath the swing. Man, this thing must have moved after we closed that room. I was helping people put scripts on. Why do those black dots appear when trying a lightning? If you click on the wrong area, it shows where an indicator is. Everybody see why I'm moving that target out of the way? I will, when it gets a predictor, again, we'll go ahead and protect it, or we'll use lightning to get out of the trade. Okay, now let's diagnose this chart and see if we weren't in this trade, where do we think we'd want to get in this trade? What do y'all think? What does everybody think? Mid-band or lower, right? Yeah, that turned out to be a beautiful trade, didn't it? And you could just keep your targets out of the way. Swings right under there, that's identified. Barely identified, you could always lag it back one. Now it's identified there. Exit on close. Another thing you can do with this too is you can actually watch and see how it's staying above line 6. Now it's not. See, it's trying to take line 6 out. But your stop's still underneath here. For now anyway. This may be all she wrote. We'll find out here in just a minute. All right, what if you missed this trade? Let's just kill this thing. Let's just see if we can get into a trade without chasing it. Okay, you got a high, a low down here, so that's my identified swing. That's my support. I'll take a scalp trade if it touches that line. That's fairly close to that line. That's also on a predictor. Now, usually when I do that particular trade, you go ahead and go up to the top swing, and you want to put your stop fairly tight, just in case. See, I've only got a 6-tick loss on this, just in case that this is going to actually do a little lower, because that is double topping. Everybody see how that, doesn't that do exactly like what I was mentioning here, where you look at this, the lightning, you know, they do this bit like this, you know, you're thrusting down your retrace, you finally take out the low, right? So what do? They come back and they kiss it and they roll over. And that's exactly what we teach. See that, kiss that and roll over. Now this isn't real here. This is what I've drawn, but this is real. See it come back and kiss that? Everywhere they break up, they'll more than likely come kiss. That is not chasing a trade, by the way. Chasing a trade is like this. I'm just going to go ahead and buy it and, throw caution to the wind, put a stop at mid-band, 20 ticks down, and lose 4 times 20 times 12, right? What would that be? Let's see. We got 20 ticks. Now watch this. Watch it eat your P&L up. It could. It may not because this thing moved like crazy, but that's chasing a trade, okay? But not chasing a trade is waiting for it to come back into a support area. To give an example, like if this was to pop up and come right back and kiss this area right here, would not even be chasing a trade. Okay, now does it mean they'll all work? No. Okay, matter of fact, this one may not because it looks like it's taken power meter 1 to the downside. Okay, but let's just see if we get anything. Oops, it's taking it out, so we're not going to do it. See if it takes that out. We'll try it if it doesn't go any lower than 93.50 right there. That's support. That's also a predictor. We'll try it if it gets there. It's not chasing a trade, by the way, to buy support. Will it work? That's a different story. Because it certainly looks like we're topping out a little bit. See if we can get it. No dice yet. There we go. And I'm going to just do like a 7 or 8 tick scalp. Everybody see why I took that like that? It came right down to support. Is it going to work? Maybe, maybe not. It's right at predictor. We're feeling a little bit of heat. Go ahead and raise my stop right under there. Okay. And it looks like we got a little decent trade, but not anything to write home about. That's mainly because of where it bounced and we got filled a little bit late. Okay, let's look and see. If we get taken out of this trade, where's another trade on this chart? Let's find out. Okay, you had a high, a low, a higher high, barely higher high, so this is my secondary low, secondary swing that is. And let's look to the left, nothing. All right, so we teach another trade with Viper. It's called a line 3 trade, right? See if we can get that. See how that predictor's lower right there? Haven't got stopped out yet though. We'll see. I don't think I'd leave 8 on though. I think we'll get rid of 4 for sure because that'll eat your account up pretty quick. I don't know how we got 8. They do generally give you a second chance. Absolutely they do. All right. Now, want to see what I call a little bit better way to even get in this trade, especially when they do this where they've gone way, way up. If we get stopped out on this, I'm going to watch power meter and take a trade. We're still looking for upswing, right? If we get stopped out, that's fine. We're going to look for power meter to go to the upside. Still bouncing, but we're not bouncing off mid-band like I want to. You could tell when they're going to take you out. You could get this trade off the table right now if you wanted to because they're going to get it. You can tell it. All right, let's see if we can get another trade. We're going to watch for power meter. Power meter turns green, we'll take it. Looks like a phantom trade so far. Not quite the phantom yet. Now there's a high, a higher low. If it takes that out, I'll bet it takes it up. Power meter's still red. I'm going to just fire it if it turns green. There we go. Just turned green. Target would be the predictor. We'll go ahead and leave both targets at predictor. Everybody see that? That's a little bit more what I call a conservative trade. But you're still going to feel some heat on conservative trade because what do? They break up, they pull back. Where did it pull back to? Anybody? It pulled right back on top of where it broke out. See it? Right on top of that line. And that's usually what they do. If this is going to head up, it needs to take out this swing right here. Okay? Power meter's still green. Still got a decent trade. Now, when they go chopping around like this, where you've had a huge move up, go into scalper mode. Okay, notice how that bounced right off a predictor. Our first one didn't work because we didn't get our, well, you might have if we would have gotten filled where we should have, but we didn't, so we got stopped out on that one. It did hit a predictor, but since we waited for the bar to close and it got in right about here, we didn't get the 5 ticks. Or 7, I think is what I had set on there. Okay, this is making you a little nervous because you're still heading down a little bit. I got 4 in, I'm okay. You always got to feel a little bit of heat before they ever go back to, to the upside, if we're going to go up. Now, where would we change trends on this thing if it decides? Let's see here. You got a thrust down. You haven't had a retrace yet. That's really just a little lightning down. Here's what I would expect if it is going to break down at all later. Would be a thrust down, a retrace, and a break. And it hadn't done that. But if it does, we'll take it to the downside. Let's see, Brian, I don't feel comfortable taking the trade you just took. I agree with that, Brian. I didn't like that one personally myself. It was at support. But if you're going to take a trade like that, you've literally got to try, more than likely, if they're not at or below mid-band, or at least at a support area, yeah, you pretty much want to wait for the power meter. That's what I was trying to show, though, is if you don't, there we go, we've got a little bit. That's decent. That's decent. All right, so we're still in an uptrend so far. Let's see if we can get one more trade before we wrap. Power meter's green. We're not going to chase it. Everybody right? We're not going to chase this trade. We've got to wait for a retracement. See if we can get one. Power meter's got to go red. Should go red when it breaks below that. Okay, let's draw on our chart. We got support right down here. All right. We got phantom right down here, which they haven't been to phantom yet. They came really close. We'll take it the conservative way. And I am going to add that, I do believe, to Object Trader so that we can get these trades automatically by just simply turning on, we'll call it like power meter 1, power meter 2. I don't think you'd really want to do a 3 or a 4, obviously. Right? I know I wouldn't. So we'll probably do like a power meter 1 or 2 and let people just turn it on and it'll take the trade automatically. And what I'd do is set power meter to actually be where it has to close above X amount of ticks so you don't just get faked into a trade. And I like them when they at least come down to an ellipse. I don't trust trades that don't, at least hit an ellipse. See, we're not even near an ellipse right now. Got an ellipse right there, but it's out of kilter, right? See, it's way past it. Price is past it. So let's speed this up and see if we can get something. That's 200 times. There we go. It's getting close. Power meter's red. Power meter's red. See if we can get us a trade. And by the way, lightning will get you some very decent trades. Watch and see, watch that power meter and see if it doesn't. It's either that or it's going to break down big time. We'll find that out in a minute. But right now we're still long. We're looking for longs. Everybody sees that, right? That we're looking for longs here, not shorts. Still power meters red. So you've got a high, a low, a lower high, lower low, lower high, but not a lower low. So this is your lightning swing right here. That didn't quite come down to predictor. See if we can get a green. We'll fire it if it does. It's going past the predictor again. Lightning swing is right there. As soon as it closes below, that's it. Lightning's right there. That's a phantom, by the way. I personally like that trade already myself, but let's just see if it takes out resistance for the fun of it. See if it does a little thrust up, a little pullback first. There's resistance. Power meter goes green, I'm hitting buy. That's maybe a little late, but I got it anyway. I'll always come back and check support. Yeah, we'll leave it at this. And we'll put our stop just right under there as soon as that closes above the swing. That's good enough. And we'll just go for a scalp because we're definitely in sideways. I'd figure you're going to hit maybe 94.75. We could probably get that. That's an a priori swing right across here. But we're fading it a couple of ticks. That's fine too. Stop. Now, why are we scalping in here right now? Anybody? Let's see. Why did you not take it when blue hit mid-band? Well, it depends how you're trading it. We were watching the power meter itself right here instead. I'm going to sell it if it does a power meter down. That's a double top. That's a gutsy trade right there, and it may work and it may not. But it did go the power meter to the downside. We'll see if it works. Stop would have to be above the swing, so I'd have to move it about 2 ticks. We'll leave it where it's at, though. That'll be a 12-tick loss if we get hit. Everybody see why I did that? It hit resistance. That's a sideways. That's like we get in the morning in the room when it's going sideways. You can clearly see that your support resistance is right here and support is right basically there. See that? Just between those two lines. Now my power meter's still green. If it turns green instead of red, I'll take this trade off the table. Looks like we're okay. Now let me ask everybody a question. What would it take for this to actually break down? Because it looks to me, let's look at this like we diagnosed the other chart earlier. You've got a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low. That's your 1, 2, 3 you're looking for. All right. Doesn't mean they're going to break right away, but when they break that right there, they're going to be breaking down. That'll be a 1, 2, 3. You know, once it takes that out, you can probably pretty much be ready to take this to the downside, but we're already down. So let's see if we can get down to there. See why I took that up there at a double top? Now that is a trade that you've just got to get skilled at, and believe me, they're going to test your patience and almost take you out most times, because the place to have sold it would have been a bar closed down on the double top. Let me see if I missed some. Just a second. Could you wait till it comes back and kiss after the power meter turned? You can do that also, absolutely. But keep in mind that sometimes these markets will just move like a house afire, and it will not give you the time to do it. See, I'm feeling some heat on this one. They're just going sideways, but it is a double top, so I'm gonna trust it. See, I've got a number here and here. We don't have another number. If we could get a number like through here, you know, with all this motion right here, if we could get a text number right here, that means that we would have a high, a low, a lower high, and then it would be taking this out like lightning to the downside on number 3. Now that one you don't want to take a breakout on, by the way. Watch and see if it changes. See there? Just changed. Now when this really decides if it's going to head down is going to be when it takes out. Like this swing here, which it just checked. This swing here, for absolute sure, it'll be breaking down if it breaks that. I don't know what it did because I wasn't trading this, but this is looking like a high, a low, lower high, lower low again. Takes that out and I'll bet we head down. So you just took it out. Now, where could you possibly get in this one if you weren't already in it? Well, let's watch for it and see if we get even a little pullback. Sometimes you don't. Look at this thing. Look at this thing drop. Of course, our stop would be obviously like right there. Oh, did it drop like a rock this afternoon? That's cool with me. I'd be looking for a trade right there where that little swing is if you weren't already in it. This is chasing it if you break these like this, but you have to put your stop here. I like a little pullback. Not getting it. Not getting it at all. So let's wait for a pullback. You want to see if we can get one more trade? Let's diagnose our chart and see if we can figure out where it's going to be. I'm going to get rid of lightning. We're going to draw on our chart. Let's see, you've got support right down here, which they're just taking out, right? So we're looking for what? We could absolutely use stealth, but we haven't even gotten close to stealth yet. Notice that? You want to take a stealth trade if we get it? Sure. Let's see if we get a stealth trade. Or a predictor. There's your swing. Thrust, retrace, thrust. That's the high they can't take out if they're going to head down. This is the resistance area that they should hit their head. And predictor saying right there. And I just added it resistance. Everybody see why I added it resistance right there? Now, if I was in this trade from just now, let's just say I just got in this trade like this, then I've got to put my stop above this swing right here because that's my lightning swing. See it? Right there on top of that line with exit on close. Whoop, killed that trade. Everybody see that? Perfect little trade just simply by waiting on it. Where's the next trade on this chart? Somebody asked. Well, let's find out. Draw our lines. Can't take this out, right? So you expect a lower high. Need an ABC. There's your AB. Write a predictor. Got a lower high. See if we can get a lower low. Perfect. See that? Wait for the trade to come to you, and I'll guarantee you that your trading will improve. Notice how that perfectly hit stealth, by the way. See it? Hit stealth here and rolled over. Didn't even hit stealth all the way down. But notice if you even missed it up here where it was starting to change, You know, I mean, this was actually getting to be pretty much a no-brainer when they started getting these lower. You had a high over here, a low. They tried to take the low out, so you had a 1, 2, 3. And then this was just pretty much saying, well, if they break down again, they're more than likely going to take this out. Okay? Didn't get our target just yet, did we? Where's another trade on the chart? Well, let's see. We've had 1, 2, 3 little predictors. What do you think? You want to try one more? Your trade would be right here. Let's close this out and just take that trade if it comes up there. That's resistance. Got to put my stop above the swing because the swing is what will make the difference of whether I go up or down. And we just got another trade. Here we go. Wow, I got it going 200 times, no, 20 times. That's must have been some news coming in. That was 3 o'clock. So day's done. Everybody see how to see those trades in real time though? You can definitely do it. Where's the next trade on this chart? Well, you've got a swing right here. You've got a predictor right here, a tick under it, which would be a lower high, right? I think I ran out of space. Let's find out. Maybe not. We'll try one more. See how it just hit resistance? That's where I expected it to hit its head. Resistance is right there, and it happened to go up just a little bit above it and pull back a little bit too. Now, is this changing trends? Very possibly. But that is still a good trade because that is a predictor trade, and I expected it to hit its head at resistance. And it looks like we are out of space now. It's totally paused. Okay? Yes, Diane, the first email that I sent says to remove VIP Pro Ultimate M16, but it's actually X16. I did send a second email. I apologize for that. I had that written down wrong. I was kind of flustered anyway because I just got an email saying that our scripts were expiring, and I had it written down that they were expiring on December 30th and not November 30th. So that just proves we didn't know what kind of like the government, we had one of those left hand not knowing what the right hand was doing. All right. And Mary, I'll get, go ahead and type in your email right there, and I'll get that right to you after the webinar closes here. Okay. Anybody else that didn't get the scripts, go ahead and type it in, your email, if you didn't get them. So what you'll want to do, Mary, is just go ahead and go to File, Utilities, Remove NinjaScript, and remove the VIP Pro Ultimate X16, and then just simply import this one that I'll send you. All right. Thanks everyone for coming. I hope you got something out of this. These are definitely ways that you can make more money. And, you know, sometimes you're going to end up having to chase a trade, but keep in mind that you're going to lose more than you'll gain if you do. But if you wait even for those little pullbacks into a support area on a long and vice versa on a short, you're going to get a better trade. Because if you chase it at the very top and you have a 12 tick stop, you're going to get stopped. 12 ticks is nothing. That's 3 bars. But it's a lot of money. If you got 4 contracts on oil and it goes 12 ticks, that's $480. Oh, okay, Diane. Yeah, you'll get the other one then. Yeah, just take out your, you know, that other that you have, and then just put in the new one that was sent to you. All right, so the script you should change to is VIP Pro Ultimate M17. So in other words, just take out the VIP Pro Ultimate that's in there. Don't worry about what it says. Just take the old one out, VIP Pro Ultimate, because if you don't take it out, your midband is not going to work tomorrow. Okay, and I apologize for that. We just don't normally give a one-day deal because Linda usually watches to see who puts them on, and make sure that people get them on before the expiration date. But we usually get the scripts 2 weeks before they run their course, and unfortunately we didn't get them. I just got the Skype today and said, oh, the scripts are expiring tomorrow. And I said, oh my gosh, I don't like that. Chris, on your question, the VIP Dynamic Trend is in the VIP Pro Ultimate X16. So if you'll just simply go into, like right now to give an example, go to File, Utilities, okay, remove NinjaScript, and then remove the old VIP Pro Ultimate that's there. And then just simply import the new one. And once you start Ninja over, everything works perfectly. All it is a drop dead date that's built into the script. And when it says 11:30 tomorrow morning, that script's going to come up and say, I'm expired. Okay, so I apologize. If anybody has no midband tomorrow, it's entirely our fault. But we did send the scripts out at least today to get it in time. But I know not everybody checks their email. Okay, but I'm sure Linda will get some calls in the morning, and I'll make sure she has a script so she can send them right out to anybody that didn't get the email or something. Okay, I'm going to write down Mary's email real quick, and then we'll wrap up. Just one sec. Okay, got that one, Mary. Walter, you didn't get yours either. I've got you on Skype. Let me just, matter of fact, Mary, I've got you on Skype. Let me just send it to you on Skype. Okay? Walter, I'll send yours too right away. All right, thanks everyone for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure and don't chase those trades. But like I said, also keep in mind though, that when they do these little pullbacks, there are areas that you can simply draw these little lines, you know, when they even pull back like that, you know, and they start breaking back up above these little swings, you can do these even when they do this. Okay? And what I like more than anything though is when they come into line 6 or even stealth. This was such a move today, it didn't come into line 6 until way up here. But if everybody remembers right, when it busted out this morning, we called this exact trade right here, where it had popped up a little bit and came back and kissed. That was a good trade. All right, thanks everyone. We'll see you in the morning. Bye everyone, thanks.